question is, are we live? Are we Memorex? We are live today. Yes. Welcome to The View. We are back with an entire show of hot topics, and there's plenty of them to talk about. But Barbara is not here, as you can see. She's sort of on her way back from Vietnam, and will be here during the week, later in the week. So
she's doing like peace talks there. It's a little late, but...
Never too late, never too late.
You are as brown as I have ever seen you. Where have you been? You almost look like my cousin.
We're visiting. I should be so lucky. We just went, you know, with our families and sat by a pool for the entire week, which was nice.
Well.
Took a Twitter break for 10 days.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, 10 days. The first 3 were tough. You got to push through the threshold of not tweeting, and then once you get there, I know.
Sherry, you're kind of a little bit of a compulsive tweeter, I noticed.
And it's so funny because I lost my phone and my camera, and I got it. I had to tweet so bad. I went and bought another BlackBerry so I can keep up with my tweets.
Where did you lose your camera?
She's double tweeting.
I lost my camera at LAX, and my
kidding?
phone. Yeah,
maybe someone will find it.
Yeah. It'd be nice.
Well, you know, this is what I was so glad of. I was, thank goodness I'm grown and I didn't do the pictures. You know, when you're when you're younger, because we always
that's the reason. That's another reason.
You want the right person to find that camera. You know,
I'm praying that the right person with
that
a
they
good
have
heart.
a good heart.
Yeah. But it's not
Give
like
Sherry
you
her
were
camera
not
back,
in pictures, because your picture was several different places I saw.
I did. You know, I was so excited because I went MVP from the WWE escorted me to the BET Awards. And I presented at the BET Awards. It was nice. I know, I had a good bra. And then, oh my gosh, look at this. This is Idris Elba. He is in that movie Obsession with Beyonce. He is so gorgeous.
Sherry,
look at him.
Sherry.
Thank you.
Really
I got to present at the BET Awards. I was just like, oh, he is so fine. Yeah.
You were busy.
It was fun. I had a fun time in LA.
What did you guys do?
This is very exciting.
Floating in a pool somewhere? Where were you?
I was in the pool. You know what I do in a pool? I have a pool right in my house.
I didn't know, but good.
I do. And it's only 5 feet deep because I'm afraid to go over my head.
Wait,
and because you don't want the afro when you come out.
Joy has a kiddie pool.
When they built it, I had it built. I said only 5 feet, because then if I stand on my tippy toes, it comes up to here, so I never drown that way. That was my thinking. Doesn't that make sense?
I'm a little concerned about
you. Yes, as long as you don't hit your head when you fall.
Well, I'm not going to hit my head. I don't go in there drunk.
You can drown in 3 inches. It only takes an inch of water.
But do you just kind of walk on your tippy toes?
No, so I have this thing that you put around your waist, and it keeps you up. I put things like fins on my hand, and I put weights around my feet, my leg, and I walk back and forth, for an hour. Yeah, that's what I do. And it's good exercise, but you don't lose weight. People tell me if you're in the water, you don't lose weight.
Well, you're buoyant, so that counts, I think.
But you're working your arms, baby. You're working your arms and your legs.
Right. Meanwhile,
you're
still hanging.
Well, did you walk every day?
I did, practically every 5 times. Maybe 5 times for an hour each every day.
That's actually good, Joy. That's a lot of exercise.
Let's see. It's a lot less than the other night. It was down to here.
Why don't you take all those things off, all that floating things, like you're in the middle of the ocean, and actually swim?
No, I can't, because I'm claustrophobic. If I put my head under the water, I'll drown.
Go in there and just have a little romantic thing.
Because you cannot do anything in the water.
Yes,
no, you can't. I'm sorry, that's a movie line of BS. You have to be in such position and such great shape to get it and not have water going in and out. It's too much. Trust me.
And you're right. The water cannot be cold either.
No, it cannot be cold. Water has to be the right temperature, and there's got to be a little baby oil in the water. Now,
you seem to be speaking from experience.
I told you, I know exactly. Listen, I know how that works. Oh, yeah, because, you know, chlorine is no fun. But, So, you know, I was in L.A.
Yeah, you were in L.A.
I was in L.A. I shot another episode of The Cleaner, which made me happy. I took those crazy... Thank you. Nice, yes. They were so happy. I should actually tell you, those guys were so just overjoyed to be here. They just really appreciated how much love y'all gave, and all of the... You know, the good feelings, because it's a little tiny show, and, you know, it's trying to go. Yeah. But then I had me and the crazy grandkids and my daughter with me,
how'd that go?
And we went shopping.
Okay.
We found a store called Mogul and lost our minds. We just was like, oh, and that'd be nice to have. And how about these? You remember? It used to be, I would just like to have that one thing and be grateful for it. It was like, no, I would would like to have that.
No, that's good for the economy.
It was good for the
economy.
Huh?
The grandma bought
No,
them.
I was pointing out what they had to buy me.
Oh, for you?
Yes.
Oh, it was for you.
And they were like, what? I was like, yeah. And I was like, that and that and that.
Well, you deserve
And they
it.
bought it.
Did they really?
Yes.
You're a great grandma. You deserve it.
No, just a grandma.
That's what I said. You're a great
I'm
grandma.
a very good grandma is what
you're
you
just-
mean. Yeah.
you-
But
okay,
I'm
you're
just
not a great-
I'm not a great grandma.
Oh, okay. You're
She's a terrific grandma, not a great
Now,
one.
you know, we're talking about all the silly stuff that we did and fun stuff that we did while we were gone, but a lot of sad and amazing things happened last week. We just finished the show last week when the news broke about Michael Jackson's death.
Yeah.
Tomorrow there's a memorial in L.A. It's planned, but, you know, what do you think of the way that the media's been covering this? Because, one guy says, oh, it's bad, he was a pedophile, he was this, he was a bad guy.
Right?
And then another person says, no, this is a guy who gave an amazing amount to our world. So I'm throwing it out.
Peter King was the senator.
Yeah, didn't we have a clip? Because I have the quote.
Yeah,
Read his
I
quote.
thought we had to...
No, just to the quote.
The quote says, this is Representative Peter King of Long Island, New York. He says, let's knock out the psychobabble. He was a pervert, a child molester. He was a pedophile. And to be giving this much coverage to him day in and day out, what does it say about us as a country? I just think we're too politically correct. There's nothing good to say about this guy, he continued. But the bottom line is, would you let your child or grandchild be in the same room as Michael Jackson? What I want to say is...
He's a congressman.
He's a congressman, yes. The thing about Michael Jackson, I would like to say that there was too much coverage of it. I mean, I could not... This is the coverage is Michael Jackson, and then the crawl is North Korea has nuclear weapons. Hello? It should be the opposite.
Right.
You know? But that's one thing.
Or
The only thing I would say about him, and, you know, he did settle a $25 million lawsuit with a family that the kid claims, but he was not indicted.
No.
He was never
Never
convicted. And so we don't know what actually happened.
He was acquitted the second time.
He was acquitted.
Yes.
But it's just suspicious if it's $25 million payoff. I mean, come on.
He was not brought up on charges.
I know.
He was acquitted.
Then why did he pay all that money?
Because he didn't want to go to court. It's why people settle out of court. Because one thing that happens is, I don't know, probably nobody's ever sued you. No. But when you are sued, it is on you to prove. They don't have to prove their charge. You have to prove it. Right. It's costly and it's a pain in the butt.
Right.
You know, and so sometimes, you know, it's just easier to give them what they want and they'll go away. Sometimes it backfires for people. You know, you give them what they want and then they come back 4 years later. Right. Then you learn how to say, you know what, I'm giving you this, that's it. But I've had this experience. I know why people
you have to at some point, like, decide... You know your gut instincts, but we have to trust our judicial system, you know, to the extent that it's doing the job that it needs to. So, and I think it's also different after someone has passed. I mean, I think that there's a certain amount of respect. I do agree. Our troops, you know, over the course of the 4th of July weekend made incredible strides in Afghanistan. That was like a secondary note. I think that there were things that really did happen in the world that maybe should have taken precedent, but I do think the moment was deserved to him as a person for his passing. Also,
too, you remember We Are the World. He and Lionel Richie wrote this song called We Are the World, which did an amazing job for all these people, brought attention to people all around the world and what they were going through. So this man affected everybody all over the country, the world, the nation. So it's a lot of coverage brought on that.
What is it, 20% of his money to charities that go to children. So, I mean, look,
I like to separate the art from the artist. I think that we have to, we can hold two thoughts at once in our head. So on the one hand, he's a great artist, very original, very, very important to American pop culture. On the other hand, he has some things that were strange about him. It's like Woody Allen is a great artist, and he has also. And Roman Polanski is a great director, and he has also.
This is a man who...
MTV and artists are definitely not perfect.
But MTV, he made MTV what it was. They did not have African Americans on their channel until Michael Jackson's, was it Thriller, that came on. It could have still been like that. So he broke racial barriers.
That's the artist that Joy's talking about.
I don't even think that's the artist. He broke racial barriers. So you could say it was the artist. I think you could separate that.
The artist who broke racial barriers.
No, that's the man who broke racial barriers as well.
Okay, well, let me talk about my friend for a second. My friend was Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
He was at the very first audition I did for Color Purple, when I told you, I came out and Steven Spielberg had said there'd be just a couple of people to see, because Steven Spielberg asked me to come do my one-woman show, which I did on Broadway. He didn't tell me why I was coming there. He said, I want to see your show and I can't get there, so do you mind coming? I said, sure, because, I wanted to be in Raiders of the Lost Ark. She's no fool. I wanted to run with Harrison Ford. Smart. And so I step out, and in this audience is Ashford and Simpson, Quincy Jones, I can't remember else, and Michael Jackson.
Wow. And what year is that?
This is 83, 2 maybe.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
So for me, every big event that's happened in my life has always included Michael Jackson. Now, and to answer Mr. King's question, would you leave your children? Yes, I would. Yes, I did. I left my child with Michael. Yes. And